It ain't always easy, man. It's just days I want to throw in the towel and say, what the heck am I doing? But we're going to make it. It's going to be all right. Just things pop up, man. That's why I tell you, make sure you have capital in the bank ready to go. You're not in some kind of safety net program. So, yeah, just one thing led to another yesterday. And it is what it is, man. No need crying over spilled milk. We're just going to go with it. So, you remember the shift linkage? I got that, the ends for it, over there in Omaha. And they actually had time to do it. I should have had them do it, but either way I would have lost. I would have got the right ends. We'll get to that in a minute. But I would have most likely missed my delivery cutoff because I only got there with about an hour and a half to spare. So I don't think they would have whipped me in and out within an hour. I'd have been cutting it too razor thin for me. So they gave me a left and a right-hand thread. They're both right-hand threads. So I'll show you why. The other one's about to fail too. I could put it back together, but I got to go get an end anyways, and an intake manifold gasket, and it just keeps going. So, yeah, what happened was I went to put a map sensor in too, which I got those map sensors I ordered. Got clickbaited and robbed on that deal. You know, they had them sitting on Cummins boxes, but they ain't Cummins sensors. So they say they're made in Germany, but then as I read down further in the reviews, people have bought them and had trouble. So just going to get an OEM sensor today. I'm going to get an intake manifold sensor and other end for the linkage, and maybe get back on the road by Wednesday. I got my daughter's birthday this weekend, and we ain't missing that. So if they got something real quick, like a 500-mile hop Wednesday, reloading, you know, get back Friday or something, we'll do it. If not, forget it. So as I was going to take the old sensor out, it busted off. I'll show you the piece here. Hold on one second. All right, so here's the sensor, right? Well, this little piece here is supposed to go on here, right? Yeah, like that, kind of, sort of. Okay, as I pried it off, boop, this stuck in the intake manifold. And trying to get it out, I pushed it down in there. That's just a piece of plastic, but it's kind of a reinforced little sucker, man. Pretty hard. I beat on it, and it took quite a bit of force to bust it with this hammer. So, in theory, yeah, the engine should have ate it, but it's not a 100% guaranteed deal. I mean, you have a chance that it could sit and hold a valve open. Those valve springs, you know, they're usually 100 pounds of pressure, so if it got wedged in there just right, didn't get sucked into the cylinder, got sucked, and then the valve came up and pinched it off, and, you know, the piston could come up and hit the valve, then the valve. I mean, it just could be a bad deal. So, as I was working on other stuff, I just hemmed and hawed and chewed on it, and I thought, you know what, I tried to took the boot off, tried to fish it out with a coat hanger vacuum, just wasn't happening. So I'm like, well, I'll pull the stinking intake manifold off. Well, about halfway through that, I thought, oh, crap. Well, I had it all off. It was coming off. And I was looking at the gasket going, oh, man, it looks like it's going to tear. And I'm like, crap, I hope I can get a gasket. And all this part shortage crap. Well, I can get one, but I got to run 100 miles to get it today. And that's not even all the way. It's over in Springfield, but they're going to bring it to their store in Kabul. I don't know, their Kenworth dealer. It's about, well, it's a little more than halfway between here and Springfield, but it's going to save me an hour, hour and a half worth of driving, so I got to pay them a little, bring it out, their parts runner. They're bringing me that. They're bringing me an OEM sensor, an intake manifold gasket, OEM sensor, and another rod end, clutch rod end is what it's called. So get all that and get back today. I don't know if I'll do anything today. No. See how I feel. Maybe do some of the stuff, but I don't know. So maybe we'll get it all put back together tomorrow and go go out Wednesday. I was going to maybe order the PDI Big Boss air intake. It's $1,500. And I went back and forth on that. First, it would probably take a week to get here, and I don't want to sit around like that. And, you know, I did diesel performance for a long time. In fact, I'm going to show you a couple pistons here. I'm going to talk about oil a little bit, a little bonus thing, my little take on oil. But I've always been kind of a gearhead, hot rod and cars, and my last thing was hot rod and diesel pickups. And one of the things that never panned out on the dyno was the intake horns they would sell you. Banks had one, AFE I think had one, and we had access to a dyno. And man, we bolted those suckers on and we just never saw any gains, ever, you know. Kind of like cold air intake. It'd give you maybe a couple horsepower and sound cool, but it just never amounted to nothing. So in theory, their literature, you know, is supposed to move 35% more air and give you 20 horsepower, which really wouldn't even notice 20 horsepower at the rear wheels. I mean, maybe a little, not much. I mean, it might accelerate a little faster, but it also could fall on its face if you lose back pressure on the turbo. So I don't know. For $1,500, it's kind of a big gamble, man. I just don't know if it'd be worth it, and I don't want to sit around and wait. So we're gonna skip that. We're just gonna get a gasket and throw the stalker back on. We'll walk over here in a minute so you guys can see firsthand what these great emissions trucks throw back in your motor through the EGR to make the tree huggers happy. It's amazing, these motors. This one's coming up on 800,000, no blow by, burning very little oil. It's amazing it can even go that far. When you see what they send back through the motor, this soot that just eats your rings and cylinder linings away. I mean, might as well take your air filter off too. I mean, the dirt isn't as abrasive as this stuff. So another reason I'm going to switch oils over to Amsoil. I'm an Amsoil guy, always have been. It's a little bit more money, but I've had great luck, and I'll show you a little bit of that. Just try to preserve this motor and see if we can stretch it out to maybe 1 million miles. Maybe another 100,000 at least before we rebuild it or buy a new truck. Probably gonna end up rebuilding it the way this stupid market's going. I'm not paying $200 and some thousand for a truck. I'll retire first. So yeah, let's look at this junk, huh? Let's show you what we were dealing with here. Flip this around. Go. So saw the sensors. Here's the sensors I got. I say they're made in Germany, but I don't know, the boxes and the wrapping they came in said China. So I don't know, man, but it's not an OEM sensor. The OEM sensor actually is made in the U.S. Can you believe that? Something made in the U.S. Where'd it go? Right there. Then the reviews said, you know, some of them didn't work. I mean, quality control is terrible, whereas in this one, the filament, where are we at here? Come on there. Oh, the camera's over here, my bad. See if I can show you this. Hold on. See that? That filament sticking out of the housing. It's supposed to be in the center. Junk. So here's what we were dealing with on the road the other day. These rod ends. They kind of just swivel around in there, and that's a cheapo piece of plastic that kind of holds the whole thing together. What a joke. Here's the old one. No, that's not the old one. So, no, yeah, that is the old one. I don't know if I can do it with one hand, but let me set this down. So yeah, there you go. It was just popping out of there, and I was zip tying it back together. There was a slit in the linkage that hooks to, so I was able to run some zip ties up and around. Oh, my phone is just beeping here. Here's the one on the other end. And look, it's coming apart. So they gave me a left-handed, this is a left-handed thread, this is a right-handed thread. This rod is all right-handed thread. So I'm going to go get another right-handed thread end. Hopefully that's the one they send over, and put that on and put this linkage back together. If they don't, I'll have to throw this on here and hope it'll hold a couple weeks. But it ain't looking too good, so I just soon get it done and not have to take it back out again. So Let's show you this little Amsoil demo thing I got. I keep all these old engine parts around that I destroyed. I got a couple pistons here. This one's out of a buddy's truck. 5.9 Cummins race truck. I got a piston pretty hot, put a hole in it. Look at the damage to the skirt. This is just regular conventional oil. Okay, tore it up pretty good, both sides. Alright. Here's a piston out of one of my trucks. I cleaned it in the parts washer, but look at the damage difference. Mine is way worse, got way hotter. I mean, you can see the ring groove down in there. It melted this, totally deformed. It should look more like this. But it just melted it, and this is all just slush, deformed like a loaf of bread. But look at the skirt. Hardly any damage. Okay, no oil on top of the piston. The oil protects the piston skirt. So that's my take on oil. Amsoil is the best by far, in my opinion. No one comes close. No one's ever beat them in a test, in an independent test or otherwise. They only do one thing. They make oil, and they make the best oil. My little Neon with cow horns, she's got 400 and some thousand miles. Quite certain there's no other Neon on the planet with that many miles. They just didn't last that long. Had to do some head gaskets on her, but other than that, she runs like a top. Just keeps on ticking. So let's go over here and show you what we got going on. Got the intake manifold off. You can look down in there and see all that soot, but look in the motor. Look at all that black carbon garbage. Let me see if I can prop this up here and show you on my finger. Oh, let me stick my finger in there. Oh, nasty, right? Look at all that. Just powdery soot. Should be coming out your exhaust pipe like it always did, but the tree huggers don't like that. So now we run it back through the motor and tear up the motor. But you know, that way we won't die and kill the ozone. Don't get me going. So we got the intake manifold off of old Ellie. And gasket, who knows? I might be able to put it back on there and it would hold, who knows? But if I can get a gasket, I'm just gonna replace it. So anyway. All right. That's all I know today, guys, man. Trucking life of an owner-operator. Hold still, you dag-nabbit thing. Sorry about that. So, you know, God, I suck at this. Stay. So, being an owner-operator ain't always easy. You know, I'm wrenching and running parts and everything. You know, I'm gonna do it myself if I can, guy. I could save a lot of money doing that, but, you know, not counting I mean, if you had to go to a shop, you're a couple grand fixing all this crap at least, but, you know, probably a couple, $300 in parts. But I'll probably miss a load. Miss a couple grand worth of work. 3 grand maybe, whatever. So, always have money set aside, don't go blow it. You have your good days and your bad days. When you're a company guy, you just get in another truck and roll down the road and let them deal with it. That don't happen in this world. All right, y'all. We're going to keep pressing on. Appreciate all the comments and everything. I do the best I can to answer your questions. If there's any topics you want me to do, let me know. And, yeah, hit the like and subscribe button, whatever. If you come over to CRST, give them my name. I'm supposed to get some kind of referral bonus, they tell me. We'll see about that. Yeah. All right, man. We'll see you now. You guys have a good day. God bless. Bye now.